Welcome, it's Mike Newton here at Lytham Golf Academy. Quick little video here to see what tee height we should be teeing the golf ball up when hitting an iron. So generally, obviously par threes, we're going to be hitting irons off the tees, but how high do we actually tee it? Are we teeing it too high? Do we just hit it off the ground? So this little video here, we're just going to look at maybe different tee heights where we actually then helps us to strike the golf ball in the club face and how that can possibly change launch angle, ball speed, and obviously your desired distance at the end of it. Okay, so we're always obviously advised to tee the ball up on the tee box, okay? But I think with all the introduction of very many different heights of tees, I've just got a few examples here. So these are little castle ones. Obviously, some of you may just use like a broken, I personally just use a broken wooden tee I find on a tee bed for par threes, just stick it in the ground. But you can see you've got lots of different heights here. Now, many golfers are fine, will get more success when they tee that ball up high in terms of getting that ball up and away. But probably what they might not be realising is where then they are missing the strike on the club face. Because obviously an iron, you're generally used to making contact with the ground, or you should be making contact with the ground. If that ball's up in that tee too high, then the strike can get very high in the blade of the golf club. And that's quite a dead area of the golf club to hit, and your ball speed would suffer massively. Okay, so we're just going to look at here. I'm going to try different heights of tees here. I'm going to keep the swing the same, maybe see how the strike pattern changes and how that changes launch monitor numbers, or more so sort of ball numbers and distance numbers. Right then, so we're going to start off with the high tee peg. So this, for me, this is teed way too high, but I have seen golfers teeing the ball up as high as this when trying to hit an iron off a tee. Okay, so this is on a white castle, which, you know, as you put the club down, but the ball is sat up very, very high here. But obviously, you know, I do see some golfers who just want to do that because then it's easier, or they think it's easy to get that ball launching up into that air. So I'm going to hit a shot as I would normally do with an iron. Now, for me with an iron, as most of us should be doing, the sole of the club should be bottoming out. It should be making that little bit of disturbance with the ground to get that ideal strike. Okay, but obviously, as you can appreciate, if I do this with this tee height, we should get a strike that's a little bit too high in the face. Let's give this one a go. Okay, that just felt awful. Okay, the strike was way up in the club face and that ball just did not go anywhere. I mean, that's gone 144 yards. I'm hitting a 6-iron here, which I should expect this to go sort of mid 180s there. So I've lost a good 40 yards. The shot was straight, but a lot of vibration up the shaft, and I know I've hit it very, very high in that club face. Right, so change the tee height now. I'm back into, or should I say, I'm into a red castle tee here. So obviously a lot lower than the white. For me, still, it's a little bit too high. Okay, but it's getting a bit more down towards the ground here. So this looks really inviting to hit up into the air. But again, I'm expecting maybe a strike pattern to be still a little bit high in the club face here. But let's give this one a go. So again, as best I can, a normal iron swing. Yeah, okay, so that felt 100 times better, but it still wasn't a solid strike. It still felt a little bit high up in the club face there. Okay, so now I've got the lowest tee peg here. So in the graduate tees, this is the green colour. As I say, you could probably just use maybe half a broken wooden tee, just pop it in. So basically this ball is just like sat up fraction. It's a bit like if you had to make a preferred lie on the fairway, you generally just put it on a little tuft, you know, just sat up a little bit. And this is really what this is. So it's literally just off the ground here. Obviously looks a lot better to me as I put this club down by the golf ball. Let's give this one a hit and hopefully this should be a better strike. Okay, that felt very, very different there. A lot more solid, probably that sort of 4 or 5 grooves up on the club face there. Very much feeling like I'm hitting a sweet spot of the golf club a little bit more. A little bit straighter and actually got a little bit more distance on there. So let's look at some numbers and also let's look at some strike in a little bit more detail and see the differences of ball speed, launch spin and ultimately distance. Right, so let's have a little look. So I've got high, mid, low tees here. So let's look at ball speed first. So with a high tee, it felt like I really struck it very, very high on the face. So let's have a look at strike first. Okay, I mean, that's horrific. You know, it was very high in the face, but obviously very toe as well, which was a bit of a double whammy in a way. But ultimately, it's a very dead part of the club. That felt awful to me. A lot of vibrations. See, my efficiency's massively down there. Club head speed, the mid-90s, which is sort of where I'm at. But obviously, strike was just awful there. And, you know, visually, the ball flew pretty straight, but I could just see it just never come off the club face. So you're looking at ball speed here at 106. Then moving on to the mid-tee here, so we've got 124 ball speed there. So I've actually dropped a tiny bit of club head speed. Didn't really feel like I tried to, but obviously I've dropped a tiny bit of speed, but gained a huge amount of 80 mile an hour ball speed there. So again, we're going to look at this particular strike. Okay, so there we go. A little bit more central, which helps, but it's still quite high in the club face. So still, that tee is a little bit too low. Smash at 133 there. That were dynamic loft at 22 degrees there. So better shot there, and that carried out at 174. So we've got 144, that awful high toe strike. 174, just moving that strike a little bit more middle, slightly down the face, but still a little bit too high. And there's 30 yards of difference, you know, with a slower swing speed. That's a big difference. Okay, so then moving into the low tee here. Now, granted, I did swing this a little bit quick. Again, I didn't mean to do that, but probably just looked more inviting because it was nearer to the ground, which is more in my area. Obviously, ball speed jumped up massively there at 132. So we'll look at that strike. And there we go. So cut it slightly toe. So I'm probably giving up a little bit of ball speed there because I haven't actually got it plumb middle there, but you can see how it's more that sort of 4-5 grooves up, a lot lower in the face, more in that CG placement, because the centre of gravity in the club head is around that sort of 4-5 grooves up on the club face there. So see, efficiency gets a little bit higher, 136 there, which is good for a mid iron, and we can then see distance then gets up another 15 yards, 189. Obviously with a good sort of controls, it comes into land as well. Right, guys, so there we have it. You know, simple thing of teeing the ball height sounds so simple, but makes a huge difference, as you can see there on numbers in terms of ball speed. It's massive. So club head speed did fluctuate 2, 3, 4 mile an hour between those shots there, but you can see ball speed jump from 106 to 132 there. So, you know, it's a good 26 miles per hour difference on ball speed. You know, club head speed, 2, 3, 4 mile an hour difference. 26 mile an hour difference ball speed. Strike is a massive part of this. So a simple thing of just being aware of where you're teeing the ball. And I would always advise, you know, with a mid-iron, and probably most of you are doing this, but I see so many golfers that don't, is just literally, it's like preferring that golf ball on the tee. You don't want to lift that ball up in the air because, as I say, the dead part of the golf club is hitting it up here. And we've clearly just seen that through that little experiment there. Okay, I have done a video on my channel that's been out there for a while with the same scenario, different tee heights, and looking at strike with a driver, and there's a similar sort of results there of a difference of sort of 30 yards between two tee heights. Again, massive difference of ball speed, but also spin, and more so with the driver there in terms of trying to get some distance. So I'll put a little link up there and you can go and check that video out to help you maybe with your tee shots as well. Okay, I hope you found this video interesting. Put it to good use. Try and experiment with that a little bit on the golf course. Try and feel your strikes. I felt a massive difference between those 3 strikes there. Let me know how you get on. Comment down below. Please share the video around. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch up with you all very soon.